Okay, the series finale of American Horror Story Asylum. So most people know, or at least agree, that the finale for Murder House, which is season 1, was pretty weak. I definitely agree. Like, I didn't think it was bad. Like, it was decent enough, although it was still really disappointing. So, of course, I was kind of concerned about how the finale for Asylum would be, since Ryan Murphy didn't do too great of a job for Murder House. I know there was a whole deal with Murder House about it originally being 90 minutes long, but then all of a sudden it turned into a 45-minute episode. Like, I know all about that, so I guess we can cut Ryan Murphy some slack for that. I guess he's not fully to blame on that, but for Asylum, of course, I was kind of worried about how it would turn out, since Murder House wasn't too good with the finale. And now I've actually seen the finale, I can say it's better than Murder House, although that's not saying much. Like, I did like it, but I expected more. Like, it was disappointing, although it was still decent enough. Like, it was a decent enough ending to the series, I'll say that. There's the majority, well, everyone seems to be spread out with their opinions on this finale. Some people hate it. There's a few people that love it, and then the majority seem to think it's okay from what I've seen. But I think it's good. I'll just say that. I think the main reason is because I expected like a lot of action or a lot of conflict in this episode, but the thing is, although they do a good job of wrapping up every character's story, it's done really calmly, really peacefully. Like, it's a very relaxing episode. There's not much conflict in the episode, and this is partially because they've killed off a bunch of major characters in the previous episodes. As a result of that, like, main storylines have ended in the previous episodes. So as a result, we haven't got much stuff going on in the finale. So it's pretty peaceful. There's not much conflict. So if you go into this expecting a lot of action and, you know, stuff like that, you're going to be disappointed. If you go into this finale and you're kind of accepting the fact that there isn't much conflict and it's more of a character piece, you should be okay with it. So it's pretty much a character piece, not much action, not much conflict. Like, really, the only conflict in the episode is the Bloodyface 2012 storyline. Aside from that, there's not really anything else. It's just like people talking, pretty much. So if you're okay with that, you should enjoy it. So I'm just like warning you if you haven't seen it yet. There's not much action, so it's just like a really peaceful, relaxing episode. And personally, when I watch the finale for a TV show, like for a season of a TV show, I expect action though, because like I want like events to lead up to some really like epic like battle between good and evil, that sort of stuff. And we didn't really get that in this episode. I mean, sure, the final scene is kind of that, but I expected like a lot more. So that's why I expect out of finales for TV shows, like a lot of conflict, a lot of action and stuff. So that's kind of why I was disappointed. Although I still thought it was decent enough. Okay, let's move on from that topic. One thing I was disappointed by is Adam Levine's, not sure if I pronounced that right, but Adam Levine's arm sever. Because of course he gets his arm ripped off in the first episode. I was so confident it wasn't Bloodyface that ripped off his arm. And in this, like, I thought it was, like, a lot of people thought this, and I was one of them, that Sister Jude had been converted into one of the mutants, and she was the thing that ripped off his arm in episode 1. And of course, in this episode, we found out it was Bloodyface 2012 all along, so I was kind of disappointed by that. I was just expecting a bit more interesting, or a bit more complicated, and it turns out it was just Bloodyface. So I was kind of disappointed by that, but whatever, it's not a big deal or anything. Okay, what is a big deal, though, is the alien storyline, because it's not explained. Some people don't mind it, they like that it's left to their imagination, and a lot of people dislike it. I'm one of them. They should have explained it. Like, the alien storyline overall was pointless. Like, it took up kind of like a large chunk. Well, not a large, it took up like, I don't know, I would say 10% of the season overall, if that. So overall, it kind of felt pointless. It didn't really contribute to much stuff. Like, it didn't have an impact on the overall grand scheme of things. So I was disappointed by the alien storyline, because they don't explain what the aliens were up to or why they chose Kit and that sort of stuff. Don't try and say Grace's explanation in episode 11 or 12. Yeah, episode 12. Her explanation in episode 12 doesn't count. I think that was just her, like, you know, doing her own theory. You know, when she's saying stuff like Kit is so open-minded and stuff, that's why they chose him. No, you can't accept that as an explanation. But basically, the alien storyline isn't resolved, and I just wanted an explanation. I wanted there to be resolved. That they didn't explain anything, so I was disappointed by that. The thing is, I knew they weren't going to explain it because Ryan Murphy said in an interview beforehand that he would not be revealing anything about the alien storyline, and he'll just leave it up to us to decide. Like, so I already knew it was coming because he already said so. So I was disappointed by that. But yeah, so just warning. That's a warning if you haven't seen the episode yet. They don't resolve the alien storyline, so prepare yourself to get pissed off if you were expecting them to explain it. Like basically the alien storyline, it should have been left for another season, because if another season focuses on the aliens, some people might accuse Ryan Murphy of running out of ideas since it was already used in Asylum. So it feels like wasted potential. He should have left it for another season, since he's kind of used it in this season now. So if he uses it again, some people might accuse him of being like running out of ideas and stuff. But I would be okay with him if he used the aliens for another season, but have them be like the main focus or the main subject, because they were like really, really underused in this episode. I was really disappointed. Well, not in this episode, but as the series as a whole. They just shouldn't have been in the season at all, because they didn't contribute to anything. Well, anything important. Okay. So, I do think this season would be a lot... basically, if you view this season like this, you will find it a lot more rewarding, or a lot more satisfying. But basically, episode 9 is the actual finale. Then episodes 10... Wait, episodes... No, yeah, episodes 9. I'm trying to think here. Okay, if you view episode 10 as the actual finale, then episodes 11, 12 and 13 as more of an epilogue, which is just like wrapping up some of the loose ends. That's basically, if you view it like that, I do think this season will feel a lot more satisfying to you as an audience member. So if you view episode 10 as the finale, episodes 11 to 13 as an epilogue of sorts, just wrapping up loose ends, you might find this season a bit more rewarding. So I think you should view the season as that. Maybe it'll appear like a lot more rewarding to you. Okay, another thing I didn't like, going back to the aliens, Pepper was like, she seemed like a bit of a badass back in episode 10, because like the aliens, you know, they made her smart, and she seemed to have some sort of powers. I'm not sure exactly what happened, I can't remember, but it was something like, because Dr. Arden tried to cut open Grace's stomach, and then like the knife broke or something. I think, I thought Pepper like had some sort of superpowers, and she kind of like used her like some mental powers to kind of stop the knife from cutting open Grace's stomach, I thought. Like, you know, Pepper's kind of she was built up to be some sort of protector of Grace and the baby, and nothing really came of that. She kind of, well, I'm not going to specify what happened because of spoilers in case someone hasn't seen the previous episodes, but basically nothing comes of that. Like, Pepper was built up to be like the protector of the baby, and nothing came of it. I just thought that was really lame. Like, she doesn't really, that doesn't really have a payoff, basically. I was disappointed by that. I guess that's really what I have to say about this. But so basically, it was disappointing because I personally was expecting something really actiony in something really actiony basically for the finale, like something really epic, and you don't get that. It's just really peaceful and relaxing. It does have some really sad moments though. There's some like kind of tear-jerking moments. Like not that I did get any tears in my eyes or anything, but there's some genuinely effective sad moments in this episode. Like, I did feel bad for some of the characters in this episode. And one more thing, I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the ending. I'll specify why in the spoiler section, but I didn't like the ending. Okay, so that's it. So I still liked the finale, although I was disappointed by it. Although it was still decent enough, I'll just say that. Okay, so I'm moving on to spoilers now, so if you don't want spoilers, leave now. Okay, so Ryan Murphy's original ending I thought was awesome, and I'm so disappointed he didn't use this. So Ryan Murphy was originally going to end the finale like this. Bloodyface 2012, or Johnny, would kill Lena, and then he would go on to change his name to Ben Harmon. And that's how the episode would end. Now, some people didn't like it, and they're glad that Ryan Murphy didn't do this, but I would have loved it if they did this. Like, sure, it does raise like a million questions, and it kind of creates a plot hole. I don't know, it's not necessarily a plot hole, but it just raises a lot of questions here, if that was Ben Harmon, of course. But Who cares? I just go with it. I mean, it's American Horror Story. This show's really crazy and over the top anyway. That would have been the cherry on top, you know? I mean, the musical number and everything. This just would have been perfect. Who cares if it raises a bunch of questions? Just go with it. I was so gutted. When I learnt that was the original ending, I got really pissed off. I was like, I so wish Ryan Murphy did that. That would have been awesome. I mean, what a twist, right? Okay, so what I didn't like about the ending is the fact that Lena survived. I just wish Bloodyface won. I wish he killed her at the end. I don't really have any, there's not really any rhyme, reason or logic to why I wanted that to happen. I just wish evil won in this episode. I don't know, I just wanted that to happen. I can't really explain why, that's just my personal preference, I suppose. Okay, so the sad thing I thought was when Jude was dying and she was kind of going insane. I thought that was really sad, like, it was a bit, yeah, just a bit depressing the way Sister Jude was kind of going insane when she was in Kit's house trying to chase the kids and everything. That was kind of depressing. So that was done well though, so it's like, you do care about the characters here, so that's done well. Like, I did feel bad for the characters when bad stuff was happening to them. Okay, yeah, okay, I think that's really all I have to say. One last thing. The Virgin Mary statue at the end of the episode, I was so sure it was going to move or smile or something. Because of course in the title sequence, its facial expression changes at the end to like a really like demonic facial expression, kind of like the Weeping Angels in Doctor Who, I suppose. So we finally, because of course Dr. Arden smashed the statue in episode 3, and then we see it makes one final appearance at the end of the episode in a flashback. Like, well, when Lena's making that speech about, you know, how evil's staring straight back at you in the face and shit like that. And then, because for those of you who don't know, Sister Jude makes some comment about evil staring you back in the face or something like that. And then the episode ends with, straight after she says that, Jude turns and faces the Virgin Mary statue, which is just standing there, of course. And then the episode ends with Jude looking at the statue, and then the camera like pans onto the statue, and it kind of zooms in on the statue's face. I was so confident that it was going to move. I was like, holy shit, it's going to move. And the episode ended right there. So I was kind of like, I'm not disappointed or anything, but I'm just saying, I was so sure the statue was going to move for there, and then it didn't, so I was like, oh, okay. Like, I like the way the camera was like zooming in on the statue and everything, I was like, oh shit, they're actually going to do this now, and they didn't. I just wanted to throw that out there, but that's all I have to say, that's the end. So I will do another video, like reviewing Asylum as a whole, like offering my thoughts on what I thought of this season as a whole. I will be doing that, but after that, I won't be making any videos until Season 3, of course. Season 3 will be about witches, I'm pretty confident about that. Okay, that's the end of the video, so thanks for watching and see ya.